Phoenix. Welcome back to a Seat at the Table podcast. We're here live at Melrose Kitchen Table. Joe Explosive and Harmon Swartz. Hey, Joe, weren't we supposed to have a guest today? I mean, we have an empty seat at the table.
I mean, I thought we booked somebody.
Yeah, I know. We wanted to talk a little bit about local buzz and like what goes
you hear
on
that?
in like Phoenix. I don't know. Hey, look who's here! Hey, man, we got Tony from Local Buzz in the house today.
Yo,
What's
that
up,
shirt,
man?
That shirt.
That's right.
You already know.
Your passion. That's
Come on, have a seat. Get a cup of coffee and come hang out with us a little bit.
For sure.
So today we have Tony from Local Buzz. Also, you also have Pollen too. So we got a couple things to talk about today. Talk a little bit about what goes on in Phoenix, some of the districts around Phoenix, things that are changing, new restaurants, new businesses, and this is the guy that knows all about it. So introduce yourself, Tony. Talk a little bit about what you do, man.
Thank you. Is this good right here?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
What's going on, everyone? Shout out to all the Phoenix community. Just grateful to be here. I usually don't like to be in front of the camera. When it comes to highlighting communities, it's about the community, not just about me. That's what Local Buzz is about. It's about communities.
You are the community, though.
That's
No. Y'all community, man. Y'all. Everyone here, even if everyone that's behind the scenes is doing it, man.
That's
so,
right.
I must point out to that guy in the back right there. The fingers go back there. Shout out to him.
We kind of snuck Tony in. He walked in and didn't know what he was to expect.
I didn't know what to speak.
I
rode my. So right now is bike riding season. Phoenix has amazing bike riding community.
That's right.
Obviously Phoenix is like a grid, and there's now more lanes for people to ride bikes around. I rode all my bike. I rode from McDowell and 16th all the way up here.
No way.
And I just pulled up right now. To be honest with you, right
sure.
now I still got like sweat going on my head. I think I lost the beanie.
That's all right.
Yeah. This food looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had it. You've been in here.
I know
You
it's good stuff, man. It's a good addition to Melrose
That's awesome.
District, and
Thank you.
I think people, if you haven't tried it out, if you haven't revisit Melrose Kitchen, definitely take a bite.
Yeah. Hey, so tell us a little bit. I mean, I know you've been all around. You hit pretty much every spot in the city. You hit all the corners of Phoenix, and you see everything that's new and everything that's been around and like that's actually stayed the test of time. Tell us what are you seeing right now in the trend, like in the downtown, uptown area? Like, what are you seeing as far as where things are happening and what's developing in the city?
So what he's saying is, tell us what's buzzing.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Oh man, that's a broad question.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
from
you don't have to get specifics. Just kind of see,
think-
tell me what you see in the districts and the development, and you see some of the communities that are building up and what's happening with it.
I think a lot of people is, taking that route of being creative of independently, but want to show what they're creative, like you guys, right? Like you guys, everyone here has something offered behind the table. And it's good to see that spiral out of our communities.
Yeah.
Rather through music, arts, design, creating content, opening a business.
Yeah.
Just to see everyone I run into the community have something magical to offer.
Sure.
To the city that's gonna bring more vibrance, right?
Right.
I mean, as the real estate side, obviously Central Phoenix has become a in spot because diversity.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The diversity.
Yep.
The central hub of everyone here behind the scenes is a person of color. You know what I mean? So like it's cool to see that blend of diversity because that's the real world, man.
It
you know
is
what I mean?
the real world.
Sharing
Right on.
culture, sharing backgrounds, and other communities I run into, like immigrant communities, refugee communities that we work with. Those things are what make living in Phoenix and connecting with these communities.
Yeah.
What Local Buzz is about,
Sure.
to help highlight and share what all these amazing things that people are doing,
Right.
that makes us proud to be living in Phoenix, right? Especially if
absolutely.
you're because there's a lot of transplants now in Phoenix.
Yeah.
People are coming here to discover Phoenix's kind of culture, and there's a melting pot of so many things happening across the valley of different cultures that people need to discover about, to know that Phoenix is more than just this, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when people think of Phoenix, there's really not much of what people think of. And right now we're carving a kind of new era of cultures that Phoenix does have culture, and it always has culture. You know what I mean? From the underground to now, and it's just now coming afloat because Phoenix is becoming it's moving from 5th to 4th biggest city across the U.S.
It overtook Philly, I think. When we saw it right?
Right.
Which,
I mean, the valley is just is very spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, when you think of Chicago, and because Local Buzz is also in Chicago too, right? And we have the platform activated for a 50-mile radius. Sure. Or in Phoenix, we have activated for a 200-mile radius. So you can use Local Buzz all the way down to Tucson, and the Flagstaff.
Yeah, you almost have to. You almost have to nowadays.
The valley is cool. It's just but I like being in the hub of riding my bike.
Yeah.
You know, just like coming across different communities of different colors, backgrounds. You know, no matter who you are. You know, I just love meeting people who I love being in the kitchen with them. I love being behind, you know,
right?
sitting here with you, sitting those times and just sharing a sandwich and understanding because I come from a small business.
Yep.
I used to have a restaurant for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first Asian American dessert shop in Central Phoenix
That's
and
awesome.
downtown. So like, I think relating with a lot of businesses in the back end is, you know, I think I have that better understanding because I know the struggles and the challenges, right? You know what I mean? Right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But coming from an artistic side as well, like coming from the underground hip hop scene and like culture and stuff like that, from music and graph art and all these other things, that's the artistic vibe. And I'm trying to blend that together, being, you know, an entrepreneur with the artisticness, right? Because that's what I like to see. That's how like I see my vision and stuff. And I spend a lot of time by myself cruising through the streets, but I see when, you know, coming down here watching the sunset.
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, it's just that moment like I felt proud of living in Phoenix.
Yeah. So that's something we were talking about on our last episode. We were talking a lot about how Phoenix has changed, like how it's developed culturally, like how the scene has changed, what the demographics and everything look like as far as, you know, the younger generations getting involved. And we talked a little bit about how people have recovered from now that we're back out and about. Like this whole thing is about meeting and having a conversation.
This is awesome, man.
And commuting. Like
this
really
is
just
great.
This is where we get stuff out in the open and we kind of say, hey, what's going on? And kind of check the pulse for each other.
Right.
What have you seen with the businesses that are now recovering from coming out of the pandemic? I know we're about 2 years out of it now, almost, and you know, business.
Actually,
some have recovered, some have not, but it feels like the world is different, and it feels like people are approaching those kind of interactions and that networking a lot different. What have you seen?
I see both sides.
Really,
you know, there's some business. I'm not saying every business I run into is, you know, on the great side of things, right? And there's other businesses that are running, but I think the solution, I mean, the things that I've come across is that my goal in the community, in serving in Phoenix community, those people who have those businesses who's coming out of the pandemic that need the help to get the word out. Yeah. I want to provide that kind of service of local buzz and pollen. And then there's other people who are, you know, doing amazing things and just on a, you know, moving up array, right? Yeah. So it's a melting pot of everything. You can't, there's no such thing as a perfectness in a sense, right? I think that's what gives me purpose. Sure. Gives us purpose to continue doing what we love doing. Yeah. I want to be behind the people that's supporting the people, right? The underdogs and the people that are, you know, cooking up amazing things. Yeah. And I want to help bring that out to the other communities to discover. Yeah. Because that's what it is. It's a synergy for us to, you know, support, keep doing what we love doing, but also succeed economically as well, right? Locally, 100%. Right? Support each other. When it comes to supporting each other, it's not just as much as like highlighting, you know, your business, but it's also coming there and paying for your food and you know, all those little things. To me, that's still putting money back in the community, right? Yeah,
put your money where your mouth is. Right?
So, but everything that's happening in Phoenix, the vibe of Gen Zers, you know, like I'm would you say you're Gen X, right? Yes. So I'm like, I'm Gen X. I was born in '81, and like, I'm Gen X millennial. I'm like the older millennial.
Yeah, we're the Xennials.
Yeah, so like it's called a Zennial, right? Like
I ain't never heard of that one.
It's like this micro
We're
gen.
in our own place.
It's like this micro gen era between like late '70s and early '80s, right? But I'm like, it's between where like I still know what Crystal Pepsi. You guys know what Crystal Pepsi is?
They don't.
Zima was the original White Claw. You know what I'm saying? That's right. I still remember going using payphones but going back to like what Gen Zers do, like you know, in the community right now, they're rising up with all the creativity, and I respect Gen Zers a lot because they're bringing a lot of artistic, creative, things that, you know, they're kind of like it's going back to this history. Kind of repeats itself in a sense, right?
It's reaching back.
Yeah, it's reaching back, and you know, Gen Zs are very, I would say, more artistic and creative. Sure. And and me coming from that side of artistic as well, I totally respect it. I don't knock being older. I don't be like, I don't want to fuck with like, Gen Zers. Like, no, it's we were once young too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, we were breaking the ground on video games and
doing all that
everybody
stuff,
said,
right?
Oh, you're never gonna make it anything. You can't spend your whole life playing video games.
But that's what's part of life.
Now people get paid doing it.
Life is always changing, right? Change is inevitable.
It is.
But it's also to all us as a human, we're all unique, especially no matter what age we are.
Sure.
And at a younger age, we have that because we kind of live a little more free, right?
Sure. Mhm. Yeah.
And our creativity
Less boundaries on your mind,
So I
right?
never put a boundary of, relating with older boomers or young Gen Zers because I learned from wise people.
Yeah.
And I learned from young.
Yeah.
And life is about a long journey of what can we do to, learn from each other and create things together, right?
Yeah. The synergies of that.
Because
idea.
if you don't want to create and live in a community, you might as well go live in the woods and off the grid.
Yeah. Well, so talk about a little bit about that. You mentioned it. You talked about pollen a little bit.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. What the goal is, because I know that's new. You were talking to me about that 2 or 3 months ago when we first came in.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about it. We started. If you go anywhere and you see the little bee on the window, that's this guy right here. Talk a little bit about pollen and kind of
Well,
what the.
hold on.
Go ahead.
But before we get to pollen, let's do this chronologically because when I met Tone, it was about local buzz, and talk a little bit about that because we were talking about how diverse and how Phoenix is a melting pot,
Right.
And with the rise and everything that's building up, it's easy to slip by things like I worked up the street for years and I've never heard of a Melrose, kitchen until within this last year. So it's so easy for new things and things that's been around for a while to, go unnoticed. So you found a way with Local Buzz to connect the people, the community, the businesses together. Go ahead and talk about Local Buzz and then how that jumpstart into pollen a little bit.
I didn't mean to get ahead of myself.
It's all good. We're excited, baby.
I think so. When I had Snow Ice Shavery, I created. Before when I had Snow Ice Shavery, a lot of times I'd collaborated with different communities, artists. My Uptown store, Camelback store, artists would come in and say, I would love to have illustration night, and they're like on Thursday night. And I had artists put their work up in my, in Uptown store. Downtown, there was more industrial fields on Roosevelt area. Sure. I always had a lot of pop-ups where people would come in even Johnny Cupcakes had a pop-up in my store and all these, and the music, it had a big size for First Fridays. And when I had First Fridays, I would have vendors who would pop up. They could post up. I'm like, I'm not going to take no money from them. I'm just like, this is part of just the community aspect of First Friday and artistic stuff, right? So, but then I came to discover there's all these amazing things happening from different people. You know what I mean? And that's where I also started Phoenix Night Market, the first Asian night market.
That's right.
Right? And that's when I was going around Valley. If you guys think I was going around Valley doing what I'm doing now, it's the same thing I did when Phoenix Night Market, because Phoenix Night Market was the first pretty much night market in AZ, because Snow we were doing a lot of day festivals. And when they just clicked to me, I'm like, man, something's missing, right? And that's when this Asian night market, I was inspired by the other side of the world, how it started coming across America, right? Then I was like, I think we should do it in Arizona, and it came, but during the time I had Snow, I met so many other chefs, other people doing, Phoenix food culture stuff that I was already discovering before Local Buzz and all that, right? But then going across the valley, I'm like, man, we got to bring these people together. Yeah. And Phoenix Night Market spawned out, and it was Asian inspired by the night markets, Hong Kong and all that, but it was meant to be multicultural.
That's cool.
So no background, you didn't have to be just Asian to be in there, right? Sure. So it was one of those things where found out so many things happening in the valley. I was like, I got approached at the right time from my co-founder, Adrian, you met. He approached me and said, I'm making this site. I have this site called Local Buzz. But at that time, it was just a beta site where you could just post pictures. Kind of like I was about to say Tinder. I was like,
we swipe right, swipe left.
I never heard of that. What is it?
It was
Tinder,
right? Like Pinterest, right?
Okay.
But you could place your posts in categories. Sure. So when I still had Snow downtown and I was doing Phoenix Night Market, I was like, okay, I'll jump on CB as advisor. So Adrian, my co-founder, was the one that started Local Buzz. I'm not going to take credit for that. Sure. You know what I mean? But I came on as advisor, and he came to one of my meetups at Snow. I did a downtown doggies meetup where you can bring your pets, hang out at Snow, and the neighbor who was Antique Sugar. They had vintage clothes. You could go to neighbor and they dress up as your pet. You could dress your pet up with vintage clothes and match with them.
Oh my god!
Because they were pets. They were pet owners too.
Yeah.
So with my neighbors, we did a lot of things with Cobra too. We did the tacos giving thing. We started together.
Oh, yeah.
The tacos giving, which is it used to be like the arcades outside and it had the night market vendors. We
That's
brought
cool.
that. Me and Adi from we did a lot together, man. Because at that time, First Fridays didn't stretch down there.
Yeah, right. It's
Because
expanded all the way across.
It stopped at Angels. And we're gonna create something on our block, and that's how that all happened.
That's awesome.
That's how we just let's do it. Let's do the First Fridays, have our own vendors. That's how it came to be. But with Phoenix Night Market, I discovered so many people from different cultures and community. And when my co-founder Adrian approached me, it made sense. He's like, because he moved back from the Bay back to Phoenix, and he wanted to tap in what's going on in Phoenix.
Yeah,
because he's been gone for I think almost a decade, right?
Sure.
And that's how he created it. But so he gave him that inspiration to go out and meet other people.
Yeah.
So luckily luckily we met together, and it just made sense. And then we started developing it.
Yeah.
And we came to realize, he brought me on as a co-founder. I came to realize this works what I'm doing. And the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Right? The pandemic hit, but we were at the time we were getting, the website was getting 30,000 hits a month.
That's crazy.
Because it was just one of those things where you could go and promote your local stuff and put in categories, right?
Sure.
Arts, culture, eats and drinks, and it was getting hits, and we're pushing it pretty good. And they were like, it's time to build the app. And then the pandemic hit. It's like, how do you raise funds during the pandemic, right?
For people to get together and what are you doing out and about?
The whole thing with everything that was happening, pandemic, supporting local businesses.
Sure.
Local Buzz is funded by local communities here.
Right.
It wasn't like major VCs that came in. People came in to see what we're trying to do to support our local businesses during these times, right? And it worked out.
Yeah.
Grateful that it worked out. So we built the app through 2020, going through the whole fire of everything, right?
Yeah.
And we launched it in January 21.
Okay.
And that's where we met Burning Buddha Clothing.
Yeah.
All the other guys brought them on board as early adopters, and just kind of, and I'm grateful because, Burning Buddha Clothing and all the other early adopters, I couldn't do this without the communities.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'd never say it's just about me and Adrian or we have a team, even though we have a team as well. I'm thankful for a good team.
Yeah.
But it's our local communities that saw something good that we're trying to do all together. Sure. All together, Sure. We have the same mindset of just supporting our communities, right? And that's how it came to be, man.
So talk a little bit about the app itself. What is it?
The app is I don't want to say these words. I don't know. Can I say these words? Like TikTok and
uncensored, unfiltered right here. Go for it.
I was about to say local buzz. I was thinking about. I was like, local buzz. It's something that's created by the community for us, by us. But I was like, damn, we about to get sued by Damon. FUBU.
We like to say, yeah,
it's for us, by us. You guys know FUBU? No, they did.
Oh, there it is again.
What you guys? We breaking the fourth wall a little bit. What you guys don't see is we got the crew. They're all probably under the age of 18, so they don't know about that. FUBU. But the way things are going, it might circle back, and FUBU might be the next popping thing. Because Champion, look at where that's at.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, you used to get roasted if you wore a Champion when I was going to school. Now it's the
Champion
cool
is
thing.
it's the cool thing just to have that little logo.
I seen somebody wearing some feelers the other day.
That's right.
I was like, man, we would have got roasted.
So I think back local buzz, Burning Buddha, you want, like you said, for communities, by communities. You want to try to, I let the community speak for it.
Sure.
How would you describe local buzz?
Man, why are you going to put me on the spot like that?
Because you've been there, brother. You're doing it.
Well, talk about talk a little bit about what you where do you see it going? What would you like to see if you had an idea this is where it really starts to meet its pinnacle on
what? I think it's doing a startup is always, it's challenging, man.
Sure.
I mean, it's no difference in starting up a restaurant business, right?
Yeah, right.
Starting a clothing business, you got to break through these barriers, right? Yeah. But the number one thing I know is that you never give up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Don't give up, because when you go through one wall, it opens up another wall. And I see some people that go through so many ideas because they can't get through those walls. They're like, I'm going to try another idea. So they turn around and start an idea, and they go hit another wall, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't break through that wall, where you're gonna, there's something on the other side. that's gonna help you get to that next level.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be another wall, of course, right?
Of course.
But once you break through the wall, you know that you can break it through more walls because you find these things. But with Local Buzz, overall with Local Buzz, as a startup, the whole goal that I see is that it's there to support us, to let people know what's happening locally. You know, it's a platform that has a video form like TikTok with a sense of Yelp without the BS, you know, but it's categorized. So when you upload stuff, when you post stuff, you got to put it in categories so that people discover, until you can let people discover what's happening in local communities and business through those categories, like eats and drinks, events, community, nightlife, and so forth, right? So
that's awesome.
But what I've learned through that, you know, is making a lot of small businesses, you know, they need help with marketing.
Yeah, and
getting the
exposure,
word, because
promotion,
you know, you operating a restaurant, you spend a lot of time more of your operations. You got to worry about the other operation stuff, right?
Yeah.
But marketing is always a big thing. You know, getting the
is.
word out is always a big thing. No difference than people read 100 years ago. You see photos of people just sitting around reading newspapers.
Yeah.
And newspapers a lot of newspapers had a lot of ads, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Vacuum service, you know, all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Call me, right? All those things. And rather small one, big one, all that. But nowadays we're in a digital era. Now digital video has evolved ever since 2020.
Yeah.
The content creation of video has changed so much.
Sure.
But it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's here to stay, and there's no going back.
And the rate of change, like the amount that you get on a daily basis that you're exposed to, like I think that's been the big thing. Like you're just inundated all day long.
Yeah, and you know, but the thing is though, with Local Buzz is that it's a platform to know what's happening locally.
Sure.
You know, people tell me that, you know, if I want to tell someone or they're visiting Phoenix what's happening around locally, they tell them you should download Local Buzz.
Yeah, and it feels like it's driven by the businesses.
It's
too,
driven
which
by
is
the
kinda
businesses
nice.
and the communities
opposed,
and the people. You know, it's not just overall just all businesses, but it's just
come see
inspire.
us, come be a part of it.
Be part of it, but you get to see it in categories with no like.
That's awesome.
There's no kind of filter of situations where it's just memes and all these other things. It has its purpose.
No distractions.
Yeah, notice.
Just come and enjoy the community.
Yeah,
more.
dude. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
like, I'm thankful for you guys, you know, being on there. I'm thankful for Burning Buddha Coffee, just rocking it and representing it. But it takes time, and the whole goal to get to where I'm at is like, you know, let's just say for somewhat reason, I stopped doing it or I give up. Not give up, but like, I just knew that there's an end meet where that wall. I just couldn't break through no more. I'll be grateful for the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the journey, right? So I'm not gonna make this like I'm gonna make it, but I'm manifesting that I will make it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've seen like how you talked about, you know, the pandemic hit while you guys were developing it and getting the beta out and everything. And I came on right in the middle of the pandemic. And just since then, you guys have grown because it originally started here in Phoenix. Yeah. Then you guys did a Local Buzz in Dallas, Chicago.
Austin,
But one thing that stood out with Local Buzz for me was that, as it's mentioned, it's local. Whereas you go on Instagram and it's like a social media site, but you go on Instagram, you're gonna see things everywhere, all around the world. You go on Local Buzz, you literally get to tap into what's going on in your local scene. Yep. So I even to this day, I find myself waking up on a Saturday morning, knowing I got work to do, but I'm like, let's tap in and see what's going on. I'll pop open Local Buzz and I get to see everything that's going on in my city, like in my area. And this is from individuals posting up, hey, I went on this trailer, I saw this. So you really get to see a sense of what's going on in your community from the business side. I'd be like, what's going on with, there's a pop-up. Oh, there's Theos and Theas going on, you know? So it lets you tap into what's going on. And I get to see it, experience it from, you know, a business side and just from, you know, somebody that's part of the community. So,
and I think it goes back to like what I see with what
circle.
Phoenix is that there's a lot of people doing all these amazing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Local Buzz is that platform that lets people share with their amazing things with other communities.
Right. Because
we all have common interests. We love to eat. We love, you know, discovering about different, you know, events, cultures. Right. And you know what? We might have differences in other things, but we have these common interests that relate to these things.
Right.
And when you find those common interests that you relate to, you build together from there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
One person could be like, you know, political this way, that way, but if they love the same things together, they just have that friendship of that fear, and they have their other political views elsewhere, right?
Yeah, sure.
But you just relate in that sense, build a common bond, and learn from each other, and just, you know, strengthen each other's support through that way, right? So,
And it's nice to have one place to go and do all that. Local Buzz is the way to do it. So tell them a little bit. Just tell everybody like how to get to it, where to look for it. Where to look for you in the city, and like keep your eyes peeled. Look out for Tony. You'll see him.
I'll always be in the heart of the city.
Pops up when you don't expect it.
I'm just grateful for getting connected with people, and I'm not gonna stop, man.
Tell them where to find. If you
guys get a chance, check out Local Buzz. www.localbuzz.co. It's an open platform, so you can check it out on the website. You can download an app, Android and iPhone. We're still in the early, even though it's been a few years, we're still in the early stages, but it evolved into. Can I plug Pollen?
Yeah, go for it, man.
I was trying to have my my freaking. I was like, okay, keep rolling with that. Then I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna say, transition into this. Producers over here. Producers like, hey,
it's cool.
Wrap this mess up. But anyway, so we'll let you get to Pollen. But I just want people to see, because I got to see Local Buzz grow, and then I'm getting to see this springboard going into Pollen, and I'm seeing where the dots are getting connected. Yeah. Because like I said, Local Buzz allows an individual, a business, to tap into what's going on in the local scene, see what's going on a daily basis right now, currently. And then Pollen takes it that other step next. So you go ahead and talk about now where we springboard from Local Buzz to Pollen, because it all connects and it makes sense once you understand.
I like this how you picked it up. I like this because I don't want to be the one that's constantly talking.
No, that's why we have you here.
It's the energy and the synergy.
Oh, come on, Tony. You never had a loss for words, brother. Who we kidding?
All right, yeah, all right. Thank you.
No, but talk about where Pollen picks up where Local Buzz.
What Pollen picks up Local Buzz is that, Local Buzz is still a social media platform.
Okay.
But for startups, there's no sugarcoating it. You have to. It also has to be a profitable financial gain. Financial making product, right?
Yeah.
Originally, the roadmap, because of the fact that it is a social media, it's a media platform.
Yeah.
We gotta find a way. We found a way that. How do we bring in revenue, but also support communities, right?
Sure.
And one of them is a marketplace within the platform that we're a business, because the creator economy or the influencer market, it's still a big thing, but how do we tap into that to provide to support local, but also support our creators who are creating content? So Pollen, Dan, I'm so excited about it. So Pollen, the reason why the name came up Pollen, because what do bees do best?
That's it.
Bees
cross-pollinate.
Cross-pollinate. They're the seeds of life. They take a lot of stuff that we eat, a lot of things that grow, because bees pollinate other things. And sometimes it just happens magically, because some bees take their pollen and go to somewhere, but they sprinkle pollen on other things, and things happen, right? Good things happen, right? But we wanted to create that in the Local Buzz platform, but Local Buzz is still a young startup.
Yeah.
We're a lot of people still have their Instagram, TikTok, other stuff like that, right? So the marketplace is meant to make local businesses, create a space where local businesses can connect with content creators to support marketing. And the reason why that came to be, because to this day, you can go out there anywhere and ask a local business, how are you connecting with, or a content creator, how are you connecting with a local business to love, if you want to do what you want to do to support local.
Right.
They have no answer besides I just go on Instagram and spend hours looking.
Right.
And vice versa for a small local business, right? I need to find someone who can help share what I do with my food,
right?
But I don't have that time to be searching on Instagram and going back and doing, DMs back and forth and finding the right content creator. So how do people discover each other? There's no really platform, right? So we created that tool where you can collaborate with each other by providing where business can go on and see other content creators and match with each other, and at the same time. Also to offer them, incentivization for their work.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's supporting.
That's why it's so exciting.
And it's huge. The creator economy is going to keep growing. I can't tell you the numbers, but it's going to be big.
Right.
No, I mean just the creator. I can tell you numbers. If you guys Google it, you can tell you numbers. But by 2027, the creator economy is estimated to be a $400 billion business.
That's crazy.
As of right now, it's an average of 100 billion.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
right.
And we know everything. I mean, everything's social. That's the way you connect these days. I mean,
Yeah.
we have these personal connections. That's why we're bringing back, this seat at the table, because we get that in-person connection. But as a business owner, as a content creator, you got to have that platform, that space, to where you guys can connect those dots. You know, for creatives, it's not always easy. For business owners, you're focused on your restaurant, the day in, day out, everything that's going on.
Operations,
So Paulin gives us that opportunity. Local Buzz gives you the opportunity to see what's on the scene, to connect in the scene. Paulin, it allows those creators and the businesses to connect, delivering those products that we do.
Yep. Let me just add on to that. Thank you, man. We did a Bernie Buddha and us and Local Buzz. We did a video together of him talking about Paulin. And the one that kicked off is what he said. I'm inspired by. What'd you say? I'm
inspired by the world around
me, right?
Around me,
and
me.
I
Right?
still
He added effects and shit.
even though the
I like that.
echoes, right?
I have a dream looking at it.
Even though the marketplace is an economy, it's a business, financial stuff. It's doing something socially good.
Sure.
It's providing a service to someone who has their business that want to continue on to do what they love.
Yeah.
And creators to do what they love too, right?
That's it.
But it's building that connection, but also too, we live in a world where we also got to eat, we also got to pay bills, and we want to have that synergy of supporting each other financially too, right?
I love it.
But still do social good together, and fill in that void of like connecting too.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know where it's a whole blue ocean of new things to do. So it's a blue ocean of like no one has set sail on this as a hyper local collaborative marketplace, and we want to do this to help land a foundation where we can do our best to support our local communities.
Awesome.
In a good way, and then the revenue comes in after that, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Hey, Tone, we appreciate you so much.
Yeah, dude,
like,
thanks for
honestly,
rolling up
he's
here.
such a humble guy. And I always thank him, from the days of Local Buzz starting, now moving into Paulin. Like, I call him Mr. Phoenix. Literally, you step out anywhere downtown, you're going to run into Tony somewhere.
true, man.
But really, man,
Pops up like crazy.
you're really tapped into what's going on in the heartbeat out here in Phoenix. And I really appreciate you for, the dedication that you put into this community and all the communities that are around here. Harmon,
100%.
thank you for opening up this
man.
spot, the seat at the table, and we hope to have you back sometime
Thanks
soon.
for joining
Tony.
us today,
Dude,
bro.
dude,
Thanks for being here, man.
If you guys
Chill,
seen
man.
this
Look at
right
all
now,
Thanks for joining us, Phoenix. We'll see you next time on A Seat at the Table.
Yeah.
peace.
Hey, Phoenix, thanks for joining us for that episode of A Seat at the Table, filmed live here at Melrose Kitchen Table. I'm here with Joe Explosive from Burning Buddha Clothing. Give him a promo, Joe.
Yo, follow me at Burning Buddha Clothing. That's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
That's right. And you can follow us as well at Melrose Kitchen PHX on Instagram. And this could be your spot for your promotion for your business. Come see us.
Let go.